All right, today is July 24th, 2016, and right now at 10:30 p.m. in the foothills of Los Angeles, we have a temperature of 77 degrees. The relative humidity is 51%. The dew point is 57 degrees, and we have a barometric pressure of 29.97 inches. All right, and today we had clearer skies than we did yesterday. Of course, we have that fire that was burning in Santa Clarita. Started on Friday afternoon. It burned over the mountains into Silmar and into Little Tahunga Canyon. And now the fire is burning up towards Acton, and it's burned down a few homes along the way. And we don't know who started this fire or how it started. It could have been an accident, but it's always very interesting when these fires start on the hottest days. This is the pattern. It's been the pattern, uh, and so it's very suspect when we have fires that start on hot days with almost without fail on a religious. It's the pattern is uncanny. I don't know how to express it, but the pattern is very suspicious. We have fires every time we have hot weather. That's basically the best way to say it. Okay, so we're watching the water vapor loop, and we see a few things going on here. We have a Georgette. This is a Category 4 storm, 130 mile per hour winds. Frank over here has been blown apart all day long. We can see very little, or rather much less organization in the storm. Also, we can see a blast pattern on this system. This storm here, Georgette, has a very well-defined eye wall, and it looks to me that they may be letting this storm do its thing. It's away far enough from the thunderstorm activity going on here that they may just be letting this go while they attend to other matters, mainly this system right down here, which is being blown apart. This will be moving up towards the Hawaiian Islands here in a couple of days. And we have the remnants of Darby, which is now over one of the other islands here. I think that might be Oahu or Molokai. We've got Kauai way up here, the island of Kauai. I think that's how we pronounce it. And we have uh, Oahu, and then I think Molokai is between these cluster of islands here. And then we have Maui, and then the Big Island. But yesterday we saw the storm skirting the bottom part of Hawaii, and then it must have turned north. I haven't watched the satellite all day, but it looks like there may be some rain, thunderstorms right over the Hawaiian Islands. Okay, let's look at some of the other maps. Also, we have what looks like a right angle developing right up here. High pressure being installed in this area. And we have something trying to spin counterclockwise up here. And we have thunderstorm activity, which looks like it's moving west. All this thunderstorm activity is actually starting to rotate. It looks like the entire mass is rotating, and this could be the reason why this is moving offshore. We can see that, and this could be one of the reasons why these weather controllers are destroying this thing in short order. This looks like it's really been attacked pretty hard all day, the storm here, Frank. All right, now let's go look at the Northeast Pacific infrared loop. This is the rainbow loop. And we can see that this storm here, Georgette, has a very well-defined eye. A lot of high pressure in this area. We can see that. In fact, if we go back to the water vapor loop, this is all probably very sunny and very intense sunlight beating down on tens of thousands of square miles of open ocean. And of course, the infrared radiation from the sun will heat the surface ocean temperatures when that's allowed to carry on for extended periods. We know that we have perpetually installed high pressure out here in the eastern Pacific Ocean, and so that being the case, we're going to see a lot more sunlight beating down on these waters, on this huge area of ocean, and so that will certainly cause rising ocean temperatures. So, DiCaprio, I hope you're listening. I hope you're watching, because you got to start educating these other people in Hollywood. All right, you may have a chance to turn things around. Okay, here's the hurricane map, National Hurricane Center, Georgette, Category 4, moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. And then we have Frank, which has changed directions. This storm is now moving west at 5 miles per hour. They've slowed the thing down because they've got a problem with all the thunderstorms right over Mexico moving offshore, but they also have a problem right here with Georgette. They don't want to, have a Frank right next to Georgette. That would be a problem. So they have slowed this storm down while they beat it up with microwave. We can sort of see the strategy employed here. All these thunderstorms are moving to the west, offshore, it looks like. All right, let's look at some of the other maps. We have the wave analysis map, and we can see that Frank here is generating 23-foot swells in the core, and then we have Georgette right here with 29-foot swells in the core of that storm. So those are these storms will generate some high surf for south-facing beaches probably in the next few days. And then we have 12-foot swells right off of Central and Southern California, 10 and 12 foot. Okay, and we have 12-foot swells. Something's going on out here at 155 west. That's probably right near Hawaii. Okay, so that's out near the Hawaiian Islands, I believe. Okay, let's take a look at the East Pacific, and we can see these hurricanes, Frank and Georgette. And this storm has really been hit hard. There's not a whole lot of the color. Look at the color. That's what I'm getting at. And we have all this weather that looks like it's being pushed out into the East Pacific. Right here, we can see that things are moving westbound. Infrared loop, we can see some very large thunderstorms developing. These will be blown apart. In fact, there's a lot of photoshopping going on right over those storms. We'll take a look at that right here. See the photoshopping overlay right all through there. And we can see the eye wall. That is a very well-defined eye wall. There is some photoshopping going on over that core of Georgette right there. So keep an eye on everything there. Here is the Hawaiian Islands. We can see that Darby is still creating problems for these islands. We'd like to hear a little bit more feedback from you guys out there. Appreciate all the updates. Our cartoon weather reports out here in Los Angeles don't even mention Hawaii anymore. We haven't heard a thing about it. Also, we haven't heard anything about Tropical Storm Frank or Hurricane Georgette. They don't even mention these storms or show us the satellite maps. We only see a very small slice of the Southern California area in an animated format. So they've got things locked down pretty well, these people. And I hate the word lockdown. Okay, I can't stand that word, but that's the only word I could think of at the moment. Okay, we can see some blast patterns right here, shooting out to the east. All right, here is the visible light map, and we can see a lot more detail here. In fact, let's stop the map and take a look what's happening right about as this develops. Watch what happens. Right there, big hole opens up right between these islands. So something was targeted right here. They're leaving this area alone, but they targeted that, which is right over, I think, this long island right there. That's Molokai, I think. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not. Right there, the big hole opens up. It looks like something was targeted there. Yeah, okay. Just let that run. All right, let's go and take a look at the pressure maps. This is the sea level pressure map. You can see the perpetually installed high pressure right here off the west coast, and we have Hurricane or Tropical Storm Frank right here. Frank, I believe, has 70-mile-per-hour winds. Let's go take a quick look at that once again. I think I went over this, but let's, yeah, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Georgette has 130-mile-per-hour winds. All right. Okay. All right. So we have all that high pressure. We have a low indicated right here over New Mexico, right there. This is all low pressure. The 500 millibar. You see that we have an area of high pressure that has been installed right over part of California and the Four Corners states. A lot of squiggly lines indicating nefarious activity by the transmitters, forcing descending air down into the low pressure areas. Here's the 300 millibar. You can see a huge area of high pressure right all through this area. And we have a trough right over here. Low pressure, this should be moving in, but it'll be blocked, at least in the southern portion of the state. See what happens. Next, we have the SSEC water vapor map. And we can see that Georgette has a very well-defined eye wall right here. That's not even showing up on this. Got some terrible contrast problems. This camera. Let's see if we can. Okay, well, I'm not going to waste too much time with that. Let's move on. We have the southwest water vapor loop, and we can see that these developing storms are moving into southeastern Arizona, and we can see a blast pattern developing on this supercell right here. There's a shock wave shooting out right there. Let's take a look in the rainbow loop. That storm is just in the beginning stages of being superheated. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's go to the visible light mode. We can see the photoshopping over this system and all the rest of them. If we stop this and scroll through and watch this develop, we can actually see a shock wave, which is right here. That circular shock wave, which is shooting out of the east side. Let's back that up and watch it. So we are seeing a shock wave, a roll cloud that is generated from the superheated water vapor, which has been superheated by a microwave transmitter. They hit the cores of these with several pulses of microwave, and that immediately superheats the entire system. The water vapor expands, just like boiling water. Boiling water generates steam. The steam expands. You get pressure, just like a steam engine. How that works? Well, this air mass has plenty of space to move, and so we see a roll cloud shooting out, and that's how it works. Now, the weather reporter guys aren't telling you this, but this is what's going on. They've been told to shut up and just read what's been put in front of them. So that's why I'm doing these videos. All right, so that's pretty much the report. We can see what's happening right here. We do have some moisture moving into Southern California, and that means chemtrails, folks. Here we are in LA right there, and this moisture field is probably passing through Orange County, and by tonight and tomorrow we'll have a lot of chemtrail activity and a lot of high humidity. So there it is. Chemtrails on the menu for tomorrow, and we have more thunderstorms possibly for the remainder of the week. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's it. We'll do another update tomorrow.